Here we go again. There isn't even a seat open on the Supreme Court, and already there's a controversy over how to fill it. This is all happening because Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell was on a radio show and said that should the Republicans win the midterm elections and he becomes Majority Leader, he would apply the Scalia rule to Biden's nominee if it happened before the presidential election. The late conservative Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia died suddenly in February of 2016. That was in the last year of Barack Obama's presidency. The 2016 presidential primaries had just begun. Donald Trump would win for the Republicans and Hillary Clinton for the Democrats. During that time, President Obama nominated Merrick Garland to replace Antonin Scalia. Famously, then Majority Leader Mitch McConnell refused to even consider President Obama's nominee. He wouldn't hold confirmation hearings because he argued it was a presidential year and you should allow the next president to select the Supreme Court justice. The next person, surprisingly, was Donald Trump. He nominated Neil Gorsuch. Mitch McConnell was more than happy to hold confirmation hearings, and Gorsuch is now a Supreme Court justice. And if the Republicans take the Senate in next year's midterm elections, and there's a good chance that would happen, and there happens to be an open Supreme Court seat, McConnell told the radio show he would do the exact same thing and refuse to hold confirmation hearings.
Well, I think in the middle of a presidential election, if you have a Senate of the opposite party of the president, you have to go back to the 1880s to find the last time a vacancy was filled. So I think it's highly unlikely. In fact, no, I don't think either party, if it were different from the president, would confirm a Supreme Court nominee in the middle of an election.
The phone was a little garbled there, but Mitch McConnell just said that neither party, if they controlled the Senate, would ever consider a Supreme Court nominee made by a president from the opposing party. That's the Scalia rule. In 2020, Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg died less than 2 months before the presidential election. Donald Trump was running for re-election against Democrat Joe Biden. But Majority Leader Mitch McConnell rushed the nomination of Amy Coney Barrett right through because the Senate was controlled and the White House was controlled by Republicans, the same party. Right now, the Senate is split 50-50, but the Democrats hold the majority because they won the White House, and Vice President Kamala Harris gets the deciding vote. Like I said, there's a good chance the Republicans might take the Senate back in 2022, and that means the clock is ticking. The Democrats have less than a year and a half to take more control of the Supreme Court. It seems like the idea of adding more seats to the Supreme Court, called court packing, isn't going anywhere because President Biden and several Democratic senators aren't too keen on the idea. Which leaves the Democrats in a desperate position, and all of their angst is aimed at this poor guy. 82-year-old Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer, who was nominated to the court in 1994 by Bill Clinton and has been a consistent progressive vote for the Democrats on the Supreme Court. But Democrats now want him to retire at the end of this Supreme Court session, which is June 30th, so that Joe Biden and the Democrats can replace him with a younger version of himself and secure a seat on the Supreme Court for decades instead of years.
There is no question that Justice Breyer, for whom I have great respect, should retire at the end of this term. I mean, my goodness, have we not learned our lesson?
That was New York Congressman Mondaire Jones, who said out loud on television what other Democrats have been whispering behind closed doors. And since he said that, he got some big name support.
Yeah, I believe that we should protect our Supreme Court, and I thought that should absolutely be a consideration.
So just to be clear, you do think that Justice Stephen Breyer should retire at the end of this term?
You know, it's something I'd think about, but I would probably lean towards yes.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's reluctance right there is to be expected because it is discouraged, even illegal, in workplaces to put pressure on an employee to retire because of his or her age. But she's not alone. The idea is picking up even more support, especially because during the campaign, Joe Biden said this.
I committed that if I'm elected president and have an opportunity to appoint someone to the courts, I'll appoint the first black woman to the courts. It's required that they have representation now. It's long overdue.
Which raises an interesting question. Would Mitch McConnell, should he be majority leader, really block the first African-American nominee to the Supreme Court? The Democrats think the resounding answer is yes. So now there is even a truck billboard riding around Washington, D.C., pleading for Justice Breyer to step down. This all is just the latest Supreme Court intrigue, where now a Supreme Court justice is being pressured to step down simply because of his age. I'm Larry Menti. We'll talk again soon.